It's time to learn mathematics once more. Hello, everyone! Welcome to TV Escuela. This is Teacher Bessi Nervous Bañez of Lagab Elementary School, Compostela West District, your Mathematics 5 teacher. To our pupils, parents, and guardians, please prepare your self-learning modules or SLMs for Mathematics 5, Quarter 2, Module 8, demonstrates understanding of the four fundamental operations involving decimals and ratio and proportion, together with your pen and paper. To our grade 5 learners, learn to become responsible of your own learning. Take time to read, understand, and perform the different activities in the module. As you go through the different activities of this module, be reminded to use the module with care. Do not put unnecessary marks on any part of the module. Use a separate sheet of paper in answering the exercises. Read the instructions carefully before doing each task. Observe honesty and integrity in doing the tasks and checking your answers. And finish the task at hand before proceeding to the next. If you encounter any difficulty in answering the task in this module, do not hesitate to consult your teacher or facilitator. Always bear in mind that you are not alone. We hope that through these materials, you will experience meaningful learning and gain deep understanding of the relevant competencies. Believe me when I say, you can do it. Are we all ready? I believe we all are. Sit back, relax, and prepare yourselves for new learning. After going through this lesson, you are expected to identify and write equivalent ratios. Before we go to our new lesson, let us have first a review. Open your modules on page 2. As we together answer the activity, let us try. On this given table, where the first column stated the name of the food and the column beside it stated the frequency of answer, for blue, it's 5, yellow, 20, red, 15, green, 30, and brown, 10. We are to write the simplest form of the following ratios in fraction and column. For example, let us write the ratio of blue to green. Its fraction form shall be 1/6 and its column 1:6. We put the frequency of answer of blue, which is 5, on the numerator and of the green on the denominator, which is 30. We simplify it by dividing both numerator and denominator with 5. That results to 1/6, therefore 1:6. Now, you shall be given 30 seconds to answer items 1 to 5 as shown on your screen and found in your modules. Your 30 seconds starts now. Time's up! Let us check your answers. For number 1, blue to yellow. The fraction form is 1/4 and the column form is 1:4. For number 2, yellow to red. The fraction form is 4/3 and the column form is 4:3. Number 3, red to green. The fraction form is 1/2 and the column form is 1:2. Number 4, green to brown. The fraction form is 3/1 and the column form is 3:1. And for number 5, brown to yellow. The fraction form is 1/2 and the column form is 1:2. What a great job, kids! That is a sign that you are now ready for a new lesson. Today, we shall be learning on how to identify and write equivalent ratios. That is Lesson 1 on page 3 of your module. Let us study. In order to identify equivalent ratios, it is important to answer this question. How do we know if the two ratios are equivalent? Don't worry, that would be easy. If the simplest form of 2 or more ratios are the same or equal, then the ratios are equivalent. By simplifying given ratios and its simplest form are equal, then the ratios are equivalent. Let us try some pair of ratios and find out whether they are equivalent or not. Example 1. 10/25 and 8/20. Let us begin by simplifying both ratios. For 10/25, the greatest common factor or GCF is 5. We reduce it to its lower term by dividing both numerator and denominator by the GCF 5. That results to 10 divided by 5 equals 2 and 25 divided by 5 equals 5. The lowest term for 10/25 is 2/5. How about 8/6 and 20/40? Is this pair of ratios equivalent? Let us find out by simplifying the ratios. For 8/6, the greatest common factor or GCF is 2. We reduce it to its lower term by dividing both numerator and denominator by the GCF 2. That results to 8 divided by 2 equals 4 and 6 divided by 2 equals 3. The lowest term for 8/6 is 4/3. For 20/40, the greatest common factor or GCF is 20. We reduce it to its lower term by dividing both numerator and denominator by the GCF 20. That results to 20 divided by 20 equals 1 and 40 divided by 20 equals 2. Thus, the lowest term of 20/40 is 1/2. Since the simplest form 4/3 and 1/2 are not equal, the given ratios 8/6 and 20/40 are not equivalent. Did you get it? I believe you did. If not, do not worry. In order to identify whether ratios are equivalent, we can use counting numbers 2, 3, and 5 as a multiplier to make the ratio equivalent. Let us take 2:5 as an example. If we take 2 as a multiplier, 2 times 2 equals 4, and 5 times 2 equals 10. So, 4:10 is an equivalent of 2:5. If we take 3 as a multiplier, 2 times 3 equals 6, and 5 times 3 equals 15. Then, 6:15 is an equivalent of 2:5. If we take 5 as a multiplier, 2 times 5 equals 10, and 5 times 5 equals 25. Therefore, 10:25 is an equivalent of 2:5. Very well! You did great! Let us practice. On the 5th page of your module, let us carefully answer the following problems. Write yes if the given ratios are equivalent, and no if not equivalent. For example, let us find out whether 6/8 is equal to 12/16. The lowest term for 6/8 is 3/4 since its GCF is 2. Also, the lowest term for 12/16 is 3/4 since its GCF is 4. Therefore, 6/8 is equal to 12/16 is yes, equivalent. Now, it's your turn. I shall give you 10 seconds to answer each item. For number 1, 3/2 equals 6/4. Is it yes equivalent or no not equivalent? Time starts now. The answer is yes, equivalent. Both ratios has 3/2 as its simplest form. Number 2, 4/5 is equal to 13/5. Is it yes, equivalent or no, not equivalent? Time starts now. The answer is no, not equivalent. 4 over 5 is not equal to 13 over 5, where both are already at their simplest form. Number 3. 6 over 36 is equal to 1 over 6. Is it yes equivalent or no not equivalent? Time starts now. The answer is yes, equivalent. 1 over 6 is the simplest form of both ratios. You did a fantastic job, kids! Let us proceed to the next part. Use the counting numbers 3, 4, and 5 as multiple to make the ratio equivalent. Let us take the first item as an example. The given ratio is 5 over 7. When we multiply it by 3, 5 over 7 shall be equivalent to 15 over 21. When we multiply it by 4, 5 over 7 shall be equivalent to 20 over 28. When we multiply it by 5, 5 over 7 shall be equivalent to 25 over 35. The answers shall be 15 over 21, 20 over 28, and 25 over 35. For number 2, take 20 seconds to give 3 equivalent ratios to 1 over 5 using counting numbers 3, 4, and 5. Time starts now. Time's up! The correct answers are 3 over 15, 4 over 20, and 5 over 25. Are you right? Great job, kids! Let us go to number 3. Take another 20 seconds to give 3 equivalent ratios to 3 over 6 using counting numbers 3, 4, and 5. Your time begins. Time's up. The correct answers are 9 over 18, 12 over 24, and 15 over 30. Easy, right? Congratulations! Let us take note that in order to identify and write equivalent ratios, let us remember the following. Number 1. If the simplest form of 2 or more ratios are the same or equal, then the ratios are equivalent. Number 2. To determine if 2 or more ratios are equivalent, You can express them in the simplest form. Number 3. To identify a ratio equal to a given ratio, simply multiply or divide the numerator and the denominator of the given ratio by one counting number. And finally, number 4, if a given ratio is a multiple of another ratio, the ratios are equivalent. Let us have your final guided activity. Let us assess. Directions. In the given statements, write the symbol equal sign if the given ratios are equivalent. Write the not equal sign if not. Number 1. Catherine bought 10 pencils for 112 pesos. Diane bought 6 pencils for 30 pesos. Again, Catherine bought 10 pencils for 112 pesos. Diane bought 6 pencils for 30 pesos. Number 2. Jerry and John are newspaper vendors. Jerry sold 24 newspapers in 8 days. John sold 27 newspapers in 9 days. Again, Jerry and John are newspaper vendors. Jerry sold 24 newspapers in 8 days. John sold 27 newspapers in 9 days. Number 3. 10 compared to 2 is the same as 30 compared to 6. I repeat, 10 compared to 2 is the same as 30 compared to 6. Are you done? You are fantastic. That must have been pretty easy for you. Now, it's time to do your activities by your own. On page 8, answer the remaining activities for Lesson 1, Let Us Enhance, and Let Us Reflect. I hope that you shall observe honesty and integrity in doing the tasks and in checking your answers further. Your scores will tell you how much you have learned. Study further the next lessons and modules your respective math teachers in your school will give you, and I strongly encourage you to master not one, but all other mathematical skills. That would bring us to the end of our lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed learning mathematics, and I assure you, learning some more shall make you love mathematics. I will see you again next time, future mathematics geniuses. Once again, this is Teacher Bessi Nervous Bañez from Lagab Elementary School, Compostela West District, saying, Dito sa TV Eskwela, sa pag-aaral, sama-sama. Bye-bye!